over IHSA TV in cooperation with IllinoisMatMen.com. With Andre Morgan, I'm Rob Sherrill. And, of course, on Mat 5, as some might say, the big one, Minooka against Oak Park River Forest in the rematch of last year's title match. And they will be going on Mat 5. Mat 6, Glenbard North, perennial state place winners, against Leiden, who's in the field for the first time in a while.
24 years.
Yeah. And it will be Glenbard North, of course, will be in the black singlets. Leiden will be in the gold instead of the navy blue, so it will be very easy to tell them apart. And orange for Minooka in this round, going against the traditional navy blue with the orange O for Oak Park River Forest. And we are at 145 once again.
I don't understand that, but okay, maybe it's, oh, well, you know what, we would be because of this round.
145, yes. We're still in the quarterfinals, so we're still at 145.
Well, from here, that looks like a Dardanes. I can tell you that much. Looks like Nick.
Could only be Nick, of course. Which means that Chris will most likely finish it out at 140.
Wow.
How about that?
That's a nice way to start and end.
No kidding. And the takedown for Nick Dardanis, of course, the two-time state champion.
Oh, we want to get that pronunciation out. That was a big issue last week. We're going to go Dardanis.
Yes.
Because I've always called him Dardanes, and he's never been
mean enough to correct you, I guess.
Well, I just don't want to be all over the internet like, hey, you said.
Yeah.
And I've been watching the guy since he was about 5, Russell.
That's going to happen no matter how you try to spin it. But hey, what the heck?
Yeah, I know.
We're all friends here, so no big deal.
Well, I just don't want my fan club to correct me. So
we already have a match in the books.
Yes.
At 145, and it is. We got to get a brand new set of weigh-in sheets up here.
Do we not have them?
Okay. That would be.
And I'm wondering if I have my.
I believe would be. That would be Kevin Lewis, I believe.
Yeah, that was him. Now that I think about it.
Just won by fall for Leiden. So the Eagles with the early 6-0 lead.
Get used to this Leiden team. They're a pretty scrappy bunch. I got a chance to watch them up close. They took Mount Carmel out the game, and they're pretty tough.
Had a really solid lineup. The dual meets is really the strength of this team, and this is not a team you're going to get a whole lot of 3-4 match runs against.
And another team that is coached by a legendary wrestler in the state of Illinois. Legendary family, the Potters. That's Jason Potter.
Jason Potter, what a job he has done bringing the Eagles back to the elite teams in Illinois. And I had them in the rankings for a good bit of the time. They fell out at the end of the year after their loss to Marmion, but they're in a dual meet situation, of course, very dangerous, and we'll see how big a lead they can build in these upper weights because, of course, once we hit 103, Glenbard North is going to start making their run.
Right. And speaking of Marmion, although we're not doing the 2A broadcast, there is a rematch of the duel going on right now, Montini and Marmion, for those that are interested.
Yeah, go to the 2A broadcast if you want to hear that and listen to Danny and Kevin Burke describe that. I think they'll have a lot of fun with it.
Well, we've got our first clarification on the Dardanes. They're saying I'm right, and it's Big Head Todd, who's a frequent member of the thing. He's got the Minnesota avatar, and we know the Dardanes are going to Minnesota, so maybe he's right.
Nick Dardanes is up 12-4 against I'm going to guess that this is probably Kevin Akers.
Let me see let me get some info for you. Mat 5. Who is the wrestler for Minooka? I'm sorry, for Minooka. Thank you.
That is indeed Akers.
You okay on 6?
Yeah. Actually, no, I could use 6. Yeah.
Mat 6. Mat 6. Who's on the mat for Mat 6?
It is now 14-4 for Nick Dardanes. Late in the second period there. And we'll see how many points Dardanes can score. He lets him go. It'll be 14-5, the score over Akers.
Table 6, come in, please. Table 6.
They go to the second period at 1:52 between Glenbard North and Leiden. Leiden leads 6-0 on the fall by Kevin Lewis. Now up on that mat we have Dan Fierro from Glenbard North. They are at 152, and going for Leiden is Stephen Kunka. And Fierro with the 4-2 lead. They're in the second period now. Little bit of a pickup in the intensity level, at least in the crowd. I can.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if this guy's going to be able to make it.
2A might have a little bit to do with that.
Oh, absolutely. And you're starting to get a few. These programs are kind of high profile we got out here now.
Oh, yeah.
Crowd is getting a little bit. There's a few more people coming into the building. The late arrivals are here.
Right.
Those that got caught by a train or whatever.
Yeah, most of the crowd is on our side of the arena here, so I think if we were sitting on the other side, it would look like this place was full.
Yes. Well, everyone's trying to be close to the Minooka Marmion and the Glenbard. I'm sorry. Trying to be close to the Minooka, Montini,
absolutely,
Marmion, and the Minooka Oak Park match, which are on our side of the building. And I don't know who's out on mat 1 for Class A.
Class A is Wilmington and Camp Point Central.
Well, they got a good crowd over there. Wilmington always brings people.
Oh, yeah.
And if you're just now catching in, if you didn't tune in, folks, this is IllinoisMatman.com. We are broadcasting in conjunction with the IHSA.TV today, the AA or 3A state finals dual team. We're at U.S. Cellular Coliseum and near the campus of Illinois State. I wouldn't say we're on the campus, we're near it.
No, we're in Bloomington today, so
yeah.
ISU up the road a little bit. And, it's 20-6 anyway for Nick Dardanes, and it looks like 5 is probably all he's going to get.
Really? Yeah,
because they're both on their feet. He'll need to take him down to the back, and he's looking for a way to do that in order to get the 6, because obviously, if you're going to get 6 points, this is the guy to get it with.
Yeah,
and Akers is not smartly not presenting himself too terribly much.
Now there's a stall warning, and this guy is messing with Dan Foucher, Bernie Rudiger, and now he's just been warned and told to stay off the mat. No points awarded. But Mr. Rudiger is not a happy camper right now.
It will be a DQ on stalling.
And now he's being verbally warned, both coaches. Boy, it seems like I've been here before, seen this. Dan Foucher, the official in charge on that mat, not the guy to play with, Coach.
No, absolutely not. No, I think you do that one time maybe, but
right. And this, I'm sure, is not the first time they've crossed paths. Both of these guys are veteran of the Illinois wrestling scene.
And they're used to reffing all the big matches, right. So we've all seen each other.
Right. This isn't Rudiger's first rodeo either. I mean,
we're all friends most of the time.
Right. I mean, well, the Rudigers are a legendary family in Illinois wrestling and, for that matter, Illinois football too.
Yep.
You know, those of you that have seen the movie Rudy, and I won't go into that. Let's move on to the 152
Now we go
pound.
to 152. 6-0 the lead for Oak Park. Nick Dardanes did get his 6 points. So now we have Calvin Hill going for Minooka. And he's going against Charlie Johnson.
Who's on the mat? Mat 6. Table 6.
Oh, we already got it. Yeah, they're still at 152. So. Okay, so it is 10-4 the score in favor of Fierro of Glenbard North over Kunka of Leiden. Leiden leads 6-0 there on the pin by Kevin Lewis at 145, the state qualifier. And final 15 seconds of that match now. They go off the mat. No score yet between Hill and Johnson. Hill in on the leg attack. Johnson able to spin and face him. And a stalemate is called there.
And, you know, it's kind of interesting. If this was a year ago, everybody in the state would be on the edge of their seats about this Oak Park Minooka duel. That was the one that everyone wanted to see happen. You know, in addition to everybody wants to wrestle one team.
Sure.
But
Dan Fierro of Glenbard North wins a 10-4 decision at 152, so it is now 6-3, and they're heading to 160.
See if I can get some information out of Table 6. Table 6, you know, for those who are just tuning in, we have to radio the table to find out who the participants are, so it's taking a little while, so bear with us. Table 6. Table 6. Table 6. Take down. What do you got on the mat?
Charlie Johnson.
Number 14.
17 and 14 for Leiden.
Okay. Paul Freeman for Glenbard North. Dan Kokaza for Leiden. They've just gotten started. Charlie Johnson had the first period takedown for Oak Park against Calvin Hill. And it's now 3-0 as Hill cuts him to start the second period.
And wrestling fans, I've opened up a thread on the IllinoisMatman.com website on the 3A board titled Live from the Press Box 3A State Finals. If you want to talk to either me or Rob, you got a question or comment or whatever, that's how you can reach us. We're going to be here all day and part of the night. State Finals start at 6 o'clock.
6-3 the score for Leiden over Glenbard North after 2. 6-0 the score for Oak Park on the DQ for stalling earned by the 2-time state champion Nick Dardanes. And it is still 3-0 for Charlie Johnson of Oak Park over Calvin Hill.
And let's correct the team scores here. I got one of my favorite people in the world online, Kathy Schultz, Glenbard North's #1 supporter. And we have a score of 6-3 Leiden, correct?
That's correct.
Leiden, based off of the Kevin Lewis pin,
right,
with the win at 145, and then the decision at 152 for Glenbard North.
Still scoreless between Freeman and Kokaza. And they're going to talk about this one on the Oak Park mat as Hill was in deep on that shot. And 2 points is given. It's 3-2.
If you're watching, or I'm assuming you are watching,
locked around the waist.
On your TV screen, Rob, I think as I'm looking at our broadcast monitor, you're still seeing 2 mats. The far mat is the Glenbard North Leiden, and the one at the bottom or closest to you would be the mat 5, which is Minooka Oak Park.
Hill cuts Johnson. It is 4-2. This is a big swing match here. It would give Oak Park a lot of momentum to knock off one of Minooka's state qualifiers. And the push-pull and the whizzer by Hill ran out of mat. They'll come back to the center.
Well, a 9-0 lead for Oak Park is pretty big.
It's big, and it's big in terms of what matches they've won. They've managed to get the 6 out of Nick Dardanes, and if they win this match, although, another good shot dropping to the legs by Hill, but time ran out on him. It's still 4-2 for Johnson, and Hill will start on the bottom.
And, I guess I would be remiss without mentioning Oak Park's head coach, Mike Powell, a former IHSA state champ from Oak Park and the NCAA All-American, who this time last year was the picture of health, but then went through some life-threatening injuries, illness, and where he lost a lot of weight and almost died. And he's had to fight his own battles just to get back into the coaching chair, to get back to where we're at today. So shouts out to Mike Powell, because it's more than just resting for him.
Well,
I'm looking
to survive. At Mike Powell right now, and you can tell he's not thinking a bit about himself. All he's thinking about is that kid that's out there on the mat. The escape for Hill. It's now 4-3. Still the lead for Johnson. Hill's had a couple of good shots that he hasn't been able to finish. And he's got 1:15 left to try and hit another one and finish another one. Still scoreless in the second period, and Kokaza from Leiden is on the bottom against Paul Freeman. Why don't we ask somebody on the message board why the bleached hair has become such a Glenbard North trademark?
Well, we might as well ask 2 questions. We're going to ask that one, and anybody wants to tell us what the gold dot means too, you could do that. So we really want to know.
I think 1 out of 2 is all you're going to get on that one.
Yeah, but I got to try. It's the biggest kept secret in Illinois. I know that. But yeah, why the blonde hair? Why every year? And not to mention Montini in 2A does the same thing. Did they do it this year?
I see a little bleach.
Yeah, they did it. Some guys just don't look good as blondes.
Yeah.
It's not for everybody, but whatever.
Yeah. The movie wasn't Ladies Prefer Blondes. Okay, well, it's 5-4 for Hill, and he's trying to freeze it out right here. Got the legs in, 2, one, and Calvin Hill of Minooka comes back for the 5-4 win over Charlie Johnson of Oak Park, and that narrows the Husky lead to 6-3.
And that's classic Minooka. They're going to have guys out there that these guys are not your household names. You'll probably be all during this duel going, who? Who is that? What's his name? If you're not a Minooka fan. But they have a very solid lineup, and I expect them to be in this duel right through it. Whereas, let's see Oak Park, they've got the 4 or 5 heavy hitters with the Brooks brothers, the Dardanes brothers, and there's one more.
Sam Brooks.
Well, there's 2 Brooks brothers.
Two Brookses and
2 Dardanes.
2 Brooks, 2 Dardanes. They took him a long way last weekend, that's for sure. And here's Brooks now.
Now this is
Sammy, who of course was a state champ last weekend, and he's going against Matt Meyer of Minooka.
Sophomore. Brooks is.
Right. Sophomore against a freshman here.
Matt 5 at 160. Minooka, we've got number 13. And for Orland Park, we have number 16, 1-6.
Thank you. So we're just not
confirmed by the table.
Right.
It is Brooks against Meyer.
And you may hear the radio in the background. That is we're getting a call up from the press table, or from the scorer's table to the press box, letting us know who's on the mat, which is a lot better than the situation we had last year where we didn't have any clue. And when you have no clue, you're just basically blind, flying, and just calling matches, but you don't know who it is. This is much better. Brooks with a takedown there at the edge of the mat.
And with trying to lock up a tilt there, couldn't do it, but he leads 2-0.
And just last night I was talking to a former assistant coach. Well, actually he's not. He's a lower kid level coach in the Oak Park area, and he was explaining to me that what Mike Powell wants his kids to do is kind of like the Iowa style, where they're attacking, hand fighting, tying up, constantly going forward.
Tilt for Brooks. You definitely see that when you see the Dardanes wrestling. They like to work the head. They're always going forward. 3 on the back for Sam Brooks. That's 5-0. And it is 1-1. The score between Freeman and Kokaza. They're halfway through the third period. And again, of course, this is a match you would think Leiden has to win if to get as big a lead as they can going to the lower weights, which are, of course, Glenbard North's strength.
Yeah, and I watched Leiden last week, and while they are okay in the lower weights, Glenbard is lights out in the lower weights. That's why they're here, because of their lower weights.
4 out of 5 for them down there.
Well, I already got an answer about the gold. Kathy Schultz says she doesn't know about the gold hair, but she hates it. And it started just a few years ago after Mark Schultz graduated. But how about that dot? I've heard it's the light at the end of the tunnel. I've heard it's the gold medal. What is the dot? Tell Twist. I won't tell anybody. It'll be our secret.
That's right. Still 1-1. The lead for Sammy Brooks is 9-0 now, and he's looking very high on that headlock, and Meyer almost slipped it. But Brooks doesn't pay for it, and they come back to the center. And Brooks again in on the double underhook.
Nice little roll there to the back points.
Takedown and backs coming for Brooks. He's another guy Oak Park needs 6 out of.
He's working on it too.
He's taking his time here, making sure he doesn't lose this one. This might be his shot to get that fall in the 6th. He's got about a minute left to try and lock it up.
And when you look at the Oak Park lineup, there it is.
Nice chest-to-chest position by Brooks, and he gets the fall at 3:08 over Matt Meyer of Minooka. So now 12-3 is the lead for the Huskies.
And the thing about Oak Park is you got to figure that they expected to win that match. I don't know by a fall, but by a big one. If they win the matches they're supposed to win by a fall, I'm going to give them at least 24 points. Now it's on Minooka to pick up the slack from there.
Exactly.
I don't think 24 points would be enough to beat Minooka, but if you get a couple other decisions here or there, it's going to be interesting if they get all the big points.
Here we go to 171.
Not quite sure what's going on over here on mat 6. There's a little conversation going. Action has stopped. Coach has come over and basically Coach Potter came over and basically sat on the table and started talking to the official, taking his time. But they're back in action.
So now we have Mitch Brozovic of Minooka.
Wow.
Going against Brock Friesen. And a big win there for Leiden.
That was a takedown with 18 seconds left.
In overtime.
Yeah.
So in overtime, Dan Kokaza of Leiden gets the takedown, beats Paul Freeman of Glenbard North 3-1. And Leiden leads 9-3. And, you know, for Leiden to have any chance to win this duel, they have to have matches like those.
Well, they're strong in their upper weights. Don't forget that Leiden will last week they put him at 285, but he is the 215-pound state runner-up. Dan Keebler, he's a horse. You know, they're not bad. Their heavyweight's decent, too. They will have their share of points by the time they get to Glenbard's strength.
The
1950. So
the state qualifier, Chris Warman, is out now for Glenbard North. This match, you would think the Panthers have the advantage. And it is Nelson Lugo going for Leiden. So,
thank you.
They've just gotten started, and Mitch Brozovic has the takedown against Brock Friesen. So Brozovic leads 2-0, and this would be a big swing match here at 171 for.
And, you know, when we're talking about legendary coaches and Hall of Famers, Glenbard North, they got a guy there that's been there for a while, sure Hall of Famer, Mark Hahn, and he just keeps on plugging away year after year after year. And the interesting thing about Glenbard North, they've never won a state title as a team. They've been very, very close.
Lots of seconds, lots of thirds, haven't quite gotten the big one.
I bet you
they would be an underdog this year, but hey, stranger things have happened, right?
Well, and I bet you that's kind of what still fuels Mark Hahn. It's, you know, you have that one thing that you just want to get.
Yep.
And he's young enough to still do it, you know, but he's been there a while, and he built this, he co-built the program. He didn't, you know, he's been there a long time.
Warman has the takedown. Warman leads 2-0. So one of the matches you would expect Glenbard North to be the favorite in, and he runs the arm, and he has Lugo on his back. This could be 6 for the Panthers. They're looking at it. 10 seconds left in the period. Will he be able to finish it?
And
now he's trying to settle on the head, and he got it. Wow, with 1:56, with 4 seconds left in the period. He was Warman was able to get the fall.
Was there a penalty point deducted from Minooka? Thank you. And Minooka, Dad, you are correct. Minooka was penalized 1 team point for that conversation. Dan Foucher and Coach Rudiger had. Obviously, Dan Foucher won that one, penalized Minooka a point, so the team score is 12-2 instead of 12-3.
12-2, and now it's tied up over on mat 6. Glenbard North has pulled even with Leiden. It's 9-9. And now we go to 189 on that mat. Should be Tyler Knudsen for Glenbard North. Should be Angel Maldonado for Leiden.
Table 6.
It is indeed Knudsen and Maldonado. Knudsen with an ACL brace of his own.
Yeah.
On that left knee.
That thing is heavy, man. They showed that brace to my son. He said, "That's all right, I'll do the surgery." So there's no way. You know, when you have the ACL injury, you have no lateral movement. Right. You can go forward and backwards, but you can't go left or right.
Friesen has come back, and he now leads, right. Actually, Brozovic is still in the lead. It's now 8-6 with the escape at the start of the third. Minooka is red on the scoreboard, if you can see the scoreboards. And Oak Park is green. Takedown for Maldonado of Leiden. And Friesen in on the legs, and he ties it up with the takedown. Eight to 8 now between Friesen and Mitch Brozovic. And he's going to cut him.
Yeah.
So Brozovic now leads 9-8. Friesen in on the leg again.
And we're a little bit ahead here on mat 6. We're in the 189-pound.
Another takedown for Friesen.
We're tied up there on that team score. That's going to be a duel over there, I think. I think we got one.
Yeah. I'm not sure what. Mike Powell's telling Friesen, put him up. And that's what happens. And now Brozovic is in on a single. Tried to work across to the double. Now he's got the leg up in the air trying for the trip. He leads 11-10. Boy, a takedown here would be big.
Nope.
Boy, this looked...
Whoa! Now that's different than...
I would say that's either a takedown or fleeing the mat. It had to be one or the other.
But it seemed like it was officiated differently in the last match, that same scenario.
Yeah. Well, boy, that toe was right on the white. But it's 13. It is 13-10, and now he cuts Friesen, and let Friesen walk right in on the leg. There's 30 seconds left to go, and Brozovic able to whizzer, and no points. They're both up. There are 25 seconds left to go, and now. Looks like it's going to be injury time for Brozovic.
On mat 6, we're in a battle here, 2-1. Second period with 1:30 and the clock running. Tied
Maldonado
score.
is in the lead, and Maldonado is on the bottom. And he's trying for his one, but he can't get his head up off the mat.
Maldonado also was the one that got the big win against Mount Carmel to give them the lead that they never relinquished after his match, to send them to the tournament.
And Maldonado, with a burst, gets out and gets the escape, and he now leads 3-1.
He's a pretty solid wrestler, Rob.
Maldonado apparently has asthma. They're going to give him an inhaler. Yep, there it is. Sometimes I have to use one of those things.
So they're saying online that Dardanes was a DQ.
Yes, it is. Yes, that there was a stalling call there with about. I think it was about 53 seconds left or so.
I got you.
And so he did manage to get him cautioned out. So a big win for Minooka here. Mitch Brozovic beats Friesen 13-11 in a wild match, and that brings the Indians within 12-5. We'll see how big that becomes later on. Now we go to 189.
Yeah, well, now that penalty point could come into play now. It really could. When you look at it, 12-5, that could be 12-6.
So now we have Matt Stevens for Minooka going against Nick Kowalczyk. For Oak Park. So Ben Brooks will go to 215.
Ben Brooks, the North Carolina signee, went out there to the Triangle, Rob, and fell in love. The Triangle being Duke, North Carolina State, and North Carolina.
Or Raleigh, Durham, and Chapel Hill, if you prefer.
One of the most beautiful areas in the United States of America. If you are an 18-year-old kid looking to go to college, wow.
Absolutely.
We are live inside the U.S. Cellular Coliseum. This is IHSA.TV in conjunction with Illinois Madman live broadcast from the Dual Team State Finals. If you want to write Rob, Cheryl, and myself, Andre Morgan, go to the 3A board on IllinoisMadman.com. Live from the press box. AAA State Finals is where you want to be. And just send us some love. We're here all day and part of the night. State Finals start at 6.
Well, we got a pretty good response there on your thread, haven't we?
Yeah, they're here.
I guess Saturday morning and they're sleeping in.
Well, this is a good thing for people that can't make it to the state finals.
Right.
Hey, IHSA has done a good job of providing the TV.
Right.
We'll try to do a good job of announcing. We'll just try to stay out of the way and just give you what you need. But it's a good thing.
Oh yeah. No.
I remember the days when there was nothing. Nothing.
Yeah, you had to be here or
be square.
Or forget it. Yeah, exactly right.
And then was there a sports center or a sports station? Is that what it was? Sports station. There was the big guy.
Sports Channel.
Sports Channel.
Yeah. Oh boy, those were the old days.
And we've progressed to live TV, courtesy of the IHSA.
IHSA TV, IllinoisMatmen.com. They're bringing it to you here all day today, all the way through the finals from the U.S. Cellular Coliseum.
Hey, this is a beautiful facility.
It really is. But perfect, really a perfect size for this event.
You can tell that it's a hockey venue.
Right.
And that's about, we got 6 mats with room.
Still no score. They've just started the second period between Stevens and Kowalczyk.
One of the
first scoreless first period. And 3-2, Angel Maldonado of Leiden still leads over there, over Tyler Knutson of Glenbard North. Both these duels are at 189 right now. We started at 145.
Well, I've got one of our big-time posters and part-time reporter for Illinois Matman online, McKilbin, who's a staunch Oak Park River Forest guy, and he just posted up here, it's 2 swing matches we lost, meaning Oak Park River Forest. Right. Not good. Now they need to win at least one of the 152-171 matches.
Yeah, certainly Johnson losing that swing match, and Friesen as well. Oak Park's got to find some other points to steal somewhere, and this would be a good start right here. Stevens does have the escape. That's the only point of the match so far. So Oak Park's going to have to find a way to compensate for 152 and 171 as the Sarge quickly so correctly pointed out.
Now, for those that don't want to open up another screen, just to update you real quickly, Montini's up 15-3 over Marmion and rolling, and they are on the 189 weight class. We do have broadcasters at both AA and Class A. Kevin and Danny Burke are on the 2A broadcast if you want to click over there. But don't stray far from me and Rob. We got all the action here.
And, of course, Flashy and Thad Book are over on the A broadcast. So we got every class covered for you here today, thanks to IHSA TV and IllinoisMatMen.com. The takedown for Nick Kowalczyk, and he leads 2-1 now. They're midway through that match, and 3-2. Angel Maldonado of Leiden hangs on to win, so Leiden regains the lead. It's 12-9, 2:15 coming up over there.
And Rob, I was with Dave Ganaway this week on Wednesday. We were at a meeting together and we had a long talk, and we would be remiss without also thanking him for involving us in the broadcast. He made sure that some adjustments were made and that we were brought into the broadcast. So shouts out to Dave Ganaway. I know he doesn't have a lot of fans. His fan club is nowhere as big as yours or mine, Rob, but he made it happen this week for you and I to be sitting in the booth here.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And, you know, we all know Dave's heart's in the right place. And, you know, if one of his legacies is putting the right broadcast teams on the right broadcast, then I think that's something we can all thank him for. Anyway, we are at 2:15, and Leiden's going to do some flip-flopping. Tremont Thomas is wrestling at 2:15.
Yeah, that is Thomas.
So they are going to bump the state runner-up, Dan Keebler, up to 285.
That's exactly what they did against Mount Carmel, and Thomas got a big win, and then Keebler came out and got a fall, and it was basically canceled Christmas Mount Carmel.
There you go. So yeah, that of course an area where of their lineup where the Caravan was in damage control mode most of the season anyway. So.
Right. Oh, with the headlock, and Thomas is going to survive it.
So that is.
And if you're down on the floor and you're standing next to Tamon Thomas, he's every bit of 215. I guarantee you, he's cutting the 215 from somewhere far away.
Obviously wrestled 285 for the Eagles all season, being a small 285, but obviously with some physical skills. And he lets Boyle go.
Now, Leiden, actually, if they can get a win here and then Keebler can come up with the big one, that's going to set them in position to battle with the lower weights of Glenbard North, win or lose.
Right.
Uh-oh.
That was the end of the first period.
They scored it.
Well, they add the takedown for Boyle. So he's tied up Thomas 4-4.
And wrestling fans, I know you're getting two screens on your TV. When we say mat 6, that's the far mat. When we say mat 5, that's the mat that's going to be at the bottom of your screen closest to you.
And once again, Oak Park and Minooka will be on 5, and Glenbard North and Leiden on 6. Oak Park still leads 12-5. Stevens has regained the lead on Kowalczyk 4-2. And that means we're going to have Brooks probably against Hayes coming up at 2:15. So it'll be Brooks at 2:15 and Hightower at heavy for Oak Park the next couple weight classes.
Mike Powell makes his first trip to the table there, Rob.
Yep. He's that's a
can't quite understand what he's asking there.
No, we don't have a monitor down there, but it's a pretty animated discussion.
Now, correct me if someone told me that if you take the official over to the table and he doesn't agree, you get a warning. It's
going to be a warning the first time.
And I've never. I mean, that's kind of interesting concept.
And there is the warning.
You can't.
It's not if you're questioning judgment, it's going to be a bit of a warning.
So a questioning of a rule, you don't get warned. But questioning of judgment.
I guess that's
interpretation of a rule.
That's going to be a situation where I think if you're right, you're okay, and if you're wrong, it's still going to.
So it's not automatic. It's not automatic that if you take it to the table.
Yeah, judgment's going to be a warning every time.
Well, as an official, we always get the judgment right. Don't question us officials. I don't care what the sport is. We know what we're doing.
It's now 9-5. Tremont Thomas has opened up the lead for Leiden. Leiden has never trailed in this duel.
No, they have not. Started it out with a fall.
Start with Kevin Lewis at 145. Glenbard North, a 10-4 decision from Paul Fierro at 152. And it is over here at 189 as Matt Stevens of Minooka wins 5-2. So that narrows the gap to 12-8. And now we'll see if Oak Park could build the lead up a little more in these next two weight classes, which certainly Brooks would be the favorite at 215. 285, a little bit more in the toss-up category.
So this is...
Now, wait a minute. I don't know what's...
This is not Brooks. This is...
Well, wait a minute. That's right, because Brooks weighed in at 215,
right.
So he'll be going to 285. So it'll be Hightower against Hayes.
Laquan. I know my guy McKilbin this is his guy right here. Takes a lot of flack from the internet for supporting Laquan, but Laquan is a solid wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
Just missed.
Not real big, but
strong though.
Yeah.
Well, he's wide.
Yeah. So we will see Ben Brooks at 285. They were they both took the mat at once. It was kind of a weird deal.
Right.
And
well, see, that's because of the last minute changes that happened, the little gamemanship, the coin flip to see who's going to go to the table first. All that comes into play today as you try to win a state title.
Hightower in on the single. Trying to keep Hayes in bounds. Now he'll try to finish it, and he does. So.
It's a long match over here. This 215-pound match has been going on forever on mat 6.
Yeah, long time. And still a minute to go.
Yeah.
is 14-6 though for Tremont Thomas. And it's going to get interesting if he can hang on to the major here over Boyle.
Oh.
And if Keebler gets a fall, that takes it to 22-9. And now we go to how many bonus points can Glenbard North get in the strong part of their lineup.
Well, the thing about Leiden is they're not terrible in the lower weights.
No.
They're not. I mean,
no, they're not.
They're not terrible.
Glenbard North not particularly strong at 119, and Leiden could make them pay for that. Throw by Hightower. Can he keep him in bounds? He lifts him. He brings him down. It's 2. And it is a major. 16-7 for Tremont Thomas of Leiden. That takes the lead to 16-9 for Leiden.
Matt.
And here comes Keebler.
And he's a physical specimen. There are people that go to the health club and pay thousands of dollars to get a body like this guy's got on him, man. That's intimidating just in itself. This guy is ripped.
Just updating for you what's happened in that duel. After the pin by Lewis at 145, Paul Fierro of Glenbard North won by a 10-4 decision. That made it 6-3. Then Dan Kokaza of Leiden with the takedown in overtime beat Paul Freeman 3-1. So back to a 9-3 advantage for Leiden. Chris Warman of Glenbard North, the fall at 171, tied it. And 2 straight. We had it, we had it wrong. It was Zach Durkee that was out there at 215. Boyle is out there now, going against Keebler, trying to keep it to something less than 6. Now, Angel Maldonado of Leiden beat Knutson 3-2 at 89, and Thomas just got the major decision to take it to 16-9 as Keebler gets the takedown, and he's ahead 2-0.
According to McKilbin, my Oak Park River Forest expert, he says since Coach Powell put freshman Nick Kowalczyk out there, the strategy will only be considered a success if Nick gets the win at 89 and Oak Park wins at 215 and 285.
And they're well on their way to doing that.
Nick Kowalczyk's brother is Peter Kowalczyk, who is at the U.S. Olympic Training Center on the Greco side.
4-1 for Hightower. Under 30 seconds left in the second period there. And a shot from a long way away by Hayes doesn't get through. And headlock try as Hightower was pushing into him, almost cost Hayes, but they're back to the center. Under 10 seconds left to go now. And the second period is over there.
And what's going on with Brooks here? He just took a timeout. Not quite sure. I guess is it blood?
Yeah, I think something's running there.
No, now they're playing with his knee.
This is injury, not blood. The first period is over on Mat 6, and it's a 2-0 lead. Just a 2-0 lead for the state runner-up, Dan Keebler of Leiden. He'll start on the bottom as we go to period number 2.
Well, just imagine if Leiden could, in successive weeks, beat Mount Carmel and then Glenbard North to go and bring home a trophy for the first time. I mean, that's looking far, far ahead, but wow.
That would be quite an accomplishment.
I think stuff like that is good for Illinois wrestling. Sure. I get tired of seeing the same old teams. Let's shake this thing up a little bit.
It's certain. I've always been a fan of having a deep pool of teams that are capable of being here and capable of having some success, and it's good to see that that's happening. Now Keebler steps over, has the reversal, and it's 4-0. Hayes starting the third period on the bottom for Minooka. And Hightower does the optional start. Goes to the front, switches off to the front headlock. And, well, still no change. Hightower leads 4-1.
Oh, Keebler just gave this guy just a massive crossface.
Wow.
Man.
Sure did. And then he cuts him.
Yeah. We'll just let him know, hey, I'm here. 4-1 in his favor.
And now Keebler single works across, but he runs out of mat and they go out of bounds.
Keebler's a senior?
Keebler's a senior.
Do we have any idea what he's doing next level? We'll have to talk to Mr. Potter about him, see what he's going to do. State runner-up should get you some kind of offer somewhere.
Yeah, sure.
285 and 26 from Montini, 19 from Merriam. Thank you, man.
A slight update on the Montini. Marmion scores 18-6 in favor of Montini, and they're on the 285-pound bout. Action kind of slow a little bit here right now, Rob. It's little, and you get the 6-1 thing. Keebler in control over there.
Yeah,
4-2 here, but
this is a situation where I don't know if 3 points is going to do Leiden much good. It's better to give it up 3, but I think they were looking for more out of Keebler. And we'll see what happens when.
Well, he's got a period to step it up. I mean, maybe he's not a pinner.
Well,
but he could be a major at any point. Major, tech, all that's good. I don't think he's going to make a tech, but he could get to the major. Oh, no, he cut him. Wow.
Yeah, of course, you look at it. These guys from Glenbard North are pretty savvy.
Right.
Unless they're just completely getting out-horsed, they're not going to be giving up points in those situations. Now, it's 6-2. And that's such an important part of dual meet wrestling. And there's a takedown, it's 8-2. Not only getting bonus points, but, avoiding giving up bonus points.
And that's got to be an interesting conversation when you walk up to your guy and say, look, go out there, I just don't want you to get pinned.
Yeah.
How do you mentally feel when your coach tells you that?
Well, I think you, as a kid, you're in a situation where you know what's happening too.
Right.
You know what you need to do, and it's just part of the team effort is not giving up a point you should.
Right. Well, there'll be plenty of opportunities to avoid getting pinned through the course of the match.
Hightower won 4-1 there, so it is now 15-8.
And that's 18 out there.
And this is now Ben Brooks against Cody Jones.
And what a difference in body styles right here.
Yeah, no kidding. A
Brooks
heavyweight against a 189.
I was going to say, Brooks, he doesn't look like he has any business out there with this guy. Of course, this guy does have the shoulder harness on, which means, he's got some shoulder issues.
At least Brooks got to eat all week.
He looks funny with those double underhooks on this guy. Like, hey, you going to throw him?
Yeah, that's what he does, though, as we all know.
Well, that's a lot of guy to throw right there. This kid's every bit of 285 or very close to it.
Right. Well,
he's closer to 285 than he is 189.
For sure, yes. Jones weighed in at 278, so.
Okay.
That.
And what?
Yeah, he's. He's a wide body. No score yet.
So while we get this little slowdown in action, Rob, give me your thoughts real quick on the new weight classes that possibly could come into play, starting with the 106.
Well, I'm okay with the 106 in terms of there just aren't that many 103s. It's a tough weight class to fill. I think the population is evolving. I think it's getting bigger. We're bigger than we were as a population in 1950. They were bigger than the population as a whole was in 1900. These things happen.
Well, that's McDonald's fault.
Yeah, well, that's part of it.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I want to see it without the rest of the weight classes getting adjusted, because we don't know. We still don't know at this point. Yeah, maybe we don't have that many 103-pounders, but how many 112-pounders do we have? How much of a dent in the 112-pound population does only removing the 103-pound weight class do?
Right.
So I think it's a situation that I think it's putting a Band-Aid on a problem that is much more pervasive. We just don't know what the overall wrestling population looks like, as Keebler wins 15-5. So it is 4 points for Leiden. They now lead 20-9. We'll see if that's enough as we head to 103. But I'll reserve judgment, but I see it as a change that in the big picture is being made in a vacuum. When we came up with the set of weight classes we have now, there was a comprehensive study of the population done, and the weight classes they came up with all had the same amounts of the population in them.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't make that statement right now. So I'm in a wait and see mode on this. I can't say it's an awful move, but I can't say it's gonna save wrestling either. It's way too early to say that in my mind.
And Rob, I just got a note online here. Keebler has signed to play football at Bemidji State.
How about that?
Now, what are they? Are they NAIA?
That's a good question. They might. I'm guessing they're probably D2.
No, I don't think so. I'll have to look them up. Thought I knew all the D2 schools. Maybe D3?
Well, not if he's...
I'll find out. I'll look them up. We'll find out what they are.
Okay, we got... we'll have Johnny... We'll have Johnny Gosinski for Glenbard North going at 103.
That's the state champ.
Well...
No, that's his brother.
And he's going against Alex Franco. Leiden has bumped Jesus Payan up to 112 for this duel. Payan was a state qualifier at 103, but he weighed in at 112 today, so it's Alex Franco or bust at 103 for the Eagles.
Franco got the win to seal, to clinch the thing against Mount Carmel the other day. He has 11. This is his 12th varsity match all year long,
Right.
And he's in trouble right now, too. It was just cradled up for a moment there. But he was losing the other day and came back and won. But this is a different animal here with this Glenbard North kid.
So Payan will wrestle 112. And Leiden has weighed in both Jake McCabe and Meneses at 119. So I think you're going to see the two McCabe brothers wrestling at 119 and 125.
And when you look,
assuming the match is still in question, it's 8-0 for Gosinski at the end of the first period.
and when you look at the 20-9 score, Glenbard basically is a pin or two away from being right where they need to be to make their move. And here comes one pin now, possibly.
Got the cradle in there, and this looks
he's out of
tight.
there. He's going to be out of there.
This looks pretty tight for Kosinski. And there it is. 2:20, the time of the fall for state qualifier. No, he wasn't. He didn't make it out. Isn't that was quite a sectional.
Yeah, it was.
Johnny Kosinski of Glenbard North. And that makes it 20-15 now. And the Panthers will try to cut into that lead a little bit more with Brian Gonzalez at 112. And he'll go against Payan, who is a 103-pound state qualifier. Out of a different sectional.
Right. You see, now Glenbard North is into their strength here.
Absolutely.
Just that quickly, it's 2015. Now they're a pin away or 2 wins away from having the lead, and I don't know what bullets Leiden will have left.
Well, they have some. The question is, they're not as strong as Glenbard North. So, damage avoidance is not going to be enough. Leiden's going to have to score some more points in order to hold off Glenbard North, and the question is, are they going to be able to do that? Although, on the other side, Glenbard North has really just four sure scores at this point. The Kosinski brothers, Gonzalez and Murphy. And the question's going to be how many points Leiden can get at the weights those 4 guys will not be wrestling.
Right.
Well, we're heading to overtime between Brooks and Jones. 2 escapes, all we had in 6 minutes.
Matt 1, do you have your rec first? Matt 6, 112-pound match. Glenbard North, number 4. Leiden, number 2.
It is indeed Brian Gonzalez and Jesus Payan. We'll wrestle a little more in a minute.
Still trying to find this Bemidji State University stuff out. I don't know why I'm trying to find it out, but I am. Here we go. Mad 5, wow.
So Brooks with the takedown in overtime beats Jones 3-1, and that will increase Oak Park's lead to 18-8.
Brooks, the win, headed off to North Carolina and looked pretty good. That's Coach C.D. Mock, right?
That's
for
correct.
the Tar Heels.
Yes, sir.
Had a lot of conversations with C.D. back in the recruiting phase back in 06.
Now we go to 103. Here's Corbin Otten for Minooka.
Matt 3, 103 pounds. We have number 3 from Montini, number 1 from Navia.
Well, we're just about officially on the little guys all the way around here, wrestling fans. Montini just swung around to their state champ at 103. It's 21-6 in their favor.
And it is, on the other side, it is 32-18 in favor of Triad over Champaign Central.
Well, that's 32-13.
Oh.
I can see far without my glasses. I can't see close.
Can't tell a 3 from an 8. Then.
Right. See, I can see far. I can't see close. Don't tell the people that I do baseball games for that.
Two to 1 the score for Brian Gonzalez of Glenbard North. They are in the second period now. And Cameron Harris going for Oak Park and getting the takedown here and looking for back points as well as Corbett Oughton of Minooka. Oughton leads 2-0.
Now, let's look ahead here. We've already got Sandburg and Libertyville Barrington have punched their tickets to the Final Four. The winner of these two duels will wrestle each other.
Right.
If the score was to be as it is right now, it would be Leiden against Oak Park. Correct?
That's right.
Okay. So that's where we're at here, folks. And the next round will start at 2 o'clock approximately, give or take where we're at here. And the title match, 6 o'clock. So we will have a break prior to the title match.
Which our voices will gladly accept.
Yes.
Review of what's happened in the Oak Park Minooka match to this point. Nick Dardanes, the two-time state champion, opened it up at 145 with a win on a DQ for stalling. That made it 6-0. Calvin Hill of Minooka, a late takedown for a 5-4 win over Charlie Johnson at 152. That made it 6-3. The pin for Sam Brooks at 160, the state champion, made it 12-3. Mitch Brozovic, a late takedown for a 13-11 win over Brock Friesen at 171. So a couple swing wins there for Minooka at 152 and 171. Anyway, that made it 12-6 or 12-5 with the penalty point deducted from Minooka. Matt Stevens, a 5-2 win at 189, made it 12-8. And back-to-back wins for the Huskies at 215 and 285 from Laquan Hightower and Ben Brooks, who weighed in at 215 today and bumped up for that match. So that's where we are right now, 18-8. And Oughton's going to cut Harris. So that's Harris's first point of the match. It's 2-1.
There seems to be some question about Durkee and Boyle online here, Rob. They're saying that Durkee wrestled 215 and
yes.
Boyle wrestled 285. They're saying the announcer kept calling Durkee Boyle. I think
that's what I did because I didn't hear the call.
Right.
And every kid with bleached hair looks the same to me.
Yeah, if these two teams knew that Glenbard and Montini, that it confuses us, they wouldn't
I think I noted at one point that Durkee was wrestling, but it wasn't until after Boyle had started wrestling. So,
and also,
sorry about that all. We missed the call for Mat 6.
And Bemidji is Division 2, as you properly stated. They must not have wrestling, which must be why I don't know about them.
They did at one time, and I think they've dropped.
Well, there's some great Division 2 wrestling in Minnesota, so the slack is picked up by Minnesota State, State College State, and all those guys.
8-1 the lead for Brian Gonzalez, and in on the legs again. And that's 2, and he's looking at a possible major now.
Glenbard's right where they need to be. It's like they're right in striking distance, and they're just looking for 1 or 2 more kills to get the lead here. And it'll be interesting to see how Leiden responds now. It really will be, should they lose this one here.
Well, you're always taking a gamble or two here and there to just get the best matchups you can. And one of the gambles that Leiden made was bumping Payan up to 12 to try and get Franco in the lineup.
Right.
And it didn't work, but that's why they call it a gamble.
Right. Well, they got him here. The gamble paid the other day.
Yeah, it worked
just
Tuesday.
Didn't pay.
It worked Tuesday.
But this is the state title.
But this is, but it's not a great, just not a great matchup the way Glenbard North's lineup's constructed.
Sending a shout out to Jeff Pape, former Leiden wrestler himself. Gazinski's dad went to Leiden.
Wow.
but his kids wrestle for Glenbard North. So that's got to be special for the dad, actually.
Well, absolutely. A 10-1 major decision for Gonzalez, so Glenbard North gets another bonus point at 112, and they now trail by just a point. Leyden has never trailed in this match, and now we move to 119, and we're gonna have Wade Hazard here at 119 for Glenbard North, and most likely Jake McCabe for Leyden at 119.
Our fan club says combined, you and I have 20/20 vision.
Ha!
I guess that's a good point. I can see you far away, and you can see up close.
Something like that.
We're near farsighted.
Yeah. Between us, I guess we see the forest for the trees.
Yeah.
Well, thanks to all those of you who are shouting out there. We're having fun doing it. I hope you're having fun watching.
That's a great place to be. Kaczynski's dad wrestled at Leyden back in the 80s.
Okay.
So he was at the end of the glory years.
Yes.
And if you've read my column that I had on Illinois Mat Man.
Wrestled, of course, for Coach Farida then.
Right. I did a little bit on that in my column and story on the Leyden win against Mount Carmel. What a record Chuck Farina put out. Wow, 8 consecutive undefeated seasons, 592 wins at one school.
You think about what they did in those days, and every year wasn't 1978 for Chuck Farida. He had his share of disappointments, including the 1 year that Mike, wrestling for another school, cost him a state title by beating one of his kids in the wrestlebacks. But one of his Leyden wrestlers in the wrestlebacks. So they had probably 5, 6, 7 near misses for those 1 or 2 great years. But when you're there every year, you're going to win some and you're going to lose some.
Right. He sounds like he was a very interesting character.
Yeah, he really was. He was
a leader, though, absolutely leader.
He was a fun guy to be around, and just we all miss him. He really helped build the tradition we have today. Anyway, it is now 3-2 for Jake McCabe of Leyden, and he's got the hands locked around the waist, looking for maybe a tilt there. Got the knee out. Can't quite do it. This is a weight where Leyden has to score some points.
Right.
We'll see how many Jake McCabe can score. Because 120, wherever Joe Kaczynski and Brian Murphy wrestle, that's probably going to be at least 9. So
I would imagine Kaczynski can roll anywhere from 25 to 35, right?
Yes, he did weigh in at 25. So, and Murphy weighed in at 30. So we'll see him at 25-30, 25-35, whatever Mark Hahn feels like doing.
Some of these adjustments you just can't tell until you get into the duel what you're going to do. It's and I imagine it kind of takes wrestling coaches out of their realm, so to speak, and they have to become like a football coach or a basketball coach where they have to make adjustments on the fly. Normally, you just send your 14 guys out there and you just pound the team. But here, you got to make adjustments.
Absolutely, you have to make adjustments sometimes match by match if you have the flexibility in your lineup to do that.
And it's very hard for us as reporters, especially when you're down on the floor, trying to get the lineup. Because coaches, they keep that stuff top secret.
Oh, yeah. I mean, when you have the weigh-in sheet, and both coaches have not only their own weigh-in sheets, but the other team's weigh-in sheets, they know what you can possibly do and what you can't do. And that obviously sets up options for you and narrows options for the other team, and that's what every coach is trying to do in this situation. Alton leads 7-3 here, and we have 12 seconds left, so it's looking like Minooka will get on the board here. Harris is going to cut him.
Well, McKilben feels that Oak Park needed to win at least 6 or 7 matches from 145 to 285, and that's not going to happen.
And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 7-3 is the final for Corbett Auten of Minooka, and the Indians narrow the Oak Park lead to 18-11. So that's going to bring on 112 pounds. We're a little bit behind the Glenbard North Line, Matt, right now. We were in lockstep in round 1, but a couple of matches ahead on Matt number 6 at this point.
And here's a point by another longtime poster, Oak Grappler 112, and he's Oak Park is in much better shape, and Minooka's taking a lot of injury time out, and that's a good point. When you really look at it, they are. Some of those have been true injuries though, with blood and stuff, but still, it all adds up.
It sure does.
Good call there, Oak Grappler. And if you want to write us, we are at IllinoisMatman.com. This broadcast is in conjunction with the IHSA.TV. I'm Andre Morgan. He's Rob Sherrill. Just write me or Rob. Go to the 3A board. Look for the thread titled Live from the Press Box.
Leo Rudiger going for Minooka, and he's going against Darius Henry for Oak Park. We're now at 112. Oak Park leads the duel 18-11. And Rudiger with the carry and the 2-0 lead.
Now, where is this Rudiger in relationship to the coach? Is this the son, the brother, the uncle?
Son, yes.
Because they're all over the place.
Yes, there are a few other.
There's the Nikwa Rudiger.
There's some cousins out there, but this is son.
The main cousin being Rudy from Notre Dame fame. But there's also the head coach at Nikwa Valley, and there's a third one, I believe, right? Lincoln Way Central.
He's actually at Lincoln Way West now.
Okay.
As an assistant to Brian Glenn, and he's kind of taking life easy right now. He has his son wrestling at 135 out there at West.
Now this Leiden Glenbard North duel has tightened up quite a bit.
Yep.
20-19 in favor of Leiden. They're trying to hang on, basically.
It is 5-2 in favor of Jake McCabe of Leiden. So far he's taking care of business.
Over on the 2A mat out there right now is Ben Whitford. If you guys are interested in that, the number 1 freshman in the country. And he's in a little trouble, actually, which is interesting.
Well, let's see. Who's he?
You can't. He's a fantastic
He's going against Aguado, it looks like. Interesting. Well, it's only 30 seconds in. Six to nothing the lead early in the second period for Leo Rudiger, and he gets another takedown. Had the half in and let it go. It's now 8-0. Rudiger over Darius Henry. And 55 seconds left now. And the 119-pound match on mat 6. And 2 more points for Jake McCabe of Leiden, and that makes it 7-2. And now I guess he's going to start thinking about whether 3 points is enough or let him up and try for another couple of takedowns. And he does let him up.
And here's another note on Gazinski's dad. He did not wrestle at Leiden. He was a great football player.
Wow.
But his boys are wrestling.
McCabe would need 3 takedowns to get a major, and with 8 seconds left, that's not going to be enough time. But he will get the decision. 7-3 is the final. And 3 more on the board for the Eagles of Leiden. It's now 23-19. And Joe Gazinski looks like he's getting ready to go next.
Here comes the 2-time state champ. Correct? 1 time? Well, actually, they're going to play the game here.
Yeah, well, this is Leiden's going to report first.
Hahn never turned around, so he had intentions of sending. We got to get a phone call here and find out who this is, because they all look alike with the blonde hair. Table 6 should you have out for Glenbard North. Table 6.
Okay, so it is Jesse McCabe of Leiden. Different haircut than his brother. Going against the state champion, Joey Gazinski. Could be the first lead in the match for Glenbard North if Gazinski ends this before 6 minutes. 23-19 is the score, still in favor of Leiden. The Eagles have never trailed. And the barrel from Gazinski gets him 2 points. Leo Rudiger of Minooka has extended his lead to 11-0 over Darius Henry.
125 pounds, we have number 7 from Montini, number 3 from Marion.
Looks like Whitford did his thing over there on the AA match.
Yes, went from 27-9 to 27-15. I guess we can guess how that happened.
Right.
2-1 for Gazinski, and the front headlocks and spins, and it's 4-1. Cuts him, and it's 4-2.
Minooka's starting to exert some power here. Here comes a fall. This won't be long.
Through the half in. Already ahead 11-0. I think he won 6 out of this one.
Here it comes. You start bridging up on your toes, you're in trouble.
Still 1:15 left to go, so lots of time for Rudiger in this combination. He won 6 out of it for sure. Don't want to have to settle for 5.
Right. He's going to lose it.
Henry's getting that, well,
he can readjust now and reset it up.
He's throwing, he got the wrist.
Oh, he's got him good now.
There.
He's got him good.
Yeah. Get through the half back in. Down to 35 seconds now. Official looking for it.
Clock is his enemy.
Now under 30 seconds. Yeah, this got to be happening here.
Well, he's got to get on his toes and make him carry the weight.
Now down under 20 seconds.
He's not going to get it now.
Well, now it's only 11-0. It's either going to be 4 or 6.
Well, it should be 6. He had one near fall. I don't know if that's been added in yet.
No, it's only going to be a 14-0 major decision. It's only going to be 4 points. Wow. Only 4 points for Minooka.
And we have our first booing of the night here. Oak Park. I don't know why they're booing.
Boy.
They should be happy, actually. But
well, he was in a situation where if he didn't get the pin, I guess you have to kind of decide where you're going to go with it. Gambled on the pin, only wound up with the major. So we'll see if those 2 points make a difference down the line. They very well could.
Right. Or the penalty point.
Or the penalty point. That's 3 points that that have been on the table for Minooka that they won't get, and we'll see what difference that makes.
If they had
now 119.
If they had the 3 points now,
it would be tied. Absolutely.
That's why you wanna get the win you're supposed to get, but you want to control your temper and your anger.
Jake DeClerc is going for Minooka.
Leiden 98 wants an update on Leiden, and the update is they're winning 23-19.
It's now 11-2 though for Kaczynski, and he's got the Turk in. 30 seconds left in the second period. If he gets now he's looking maybe to switch off to a cradle. Yep, he's kept the Turk on him. 12 seconds left. He already had 2 coming. Now it's going to be 3. And he's got the leg hook. 1. And time runs out. It'll be...
I got some Rudiger history here for you when you get a chance here, Rob. The coach at Minooka, that's Bernie Rudiger. He's a cousin to the brother of Rudy Rudiger, the one from the football movie. Tim Rudiger is the dean of students at West Leiden.
Right.
And his kids wrestle at Providence.
Right.
Just Rudigers everywhere. And we haven't even gotten over to the Negro Valley Rudigers.
Yeah.
It's got to be a heck of a thing at Thanksgiving.
Boy, no kidding. Or any other time of year.
And that's the thing. Wrestling's a big family.
Johnny's kids played baseball. One of them's at Arizona State and doing very well.
That's a good place to play baseball at.
Yeah, no kidding. It's 14-2 for Joey Kaczynski. They're early in the third period, and DeClerc is wrestling Jordan Paddish of Oak Park River Forest, and he's going to finish this one off in a hurry. Although, once again, will he get 6? That's going to be the key.
And one of the fans, NIU fan, is asking for our opinion on these supporting parts at the edge of the mat. He feels that a lot of matches have been stopped, but this is not college. But hold on, we're getting ready to have a fall over here on mat 6.
Cradle for Kaczynski. And that's a fall. 4:58 the time. And for the first time in this match, Glenbard North leads. The Panthers with a 25-23 advantage, and 3 matches remaining in that duel. But they only have 1 hammer left. We're going to see how the other 2 matches coming up.
Well, we got a duel now. If we didn't have one before, we got one now.
And here comes Murphy. I think what Mark Hahn is saying, let's try and get 6 now, and if we give up 2 decisions, there no problem. And hope the other guys can do that.
Now, tie score at the end of 14 bouts, what happens?
At this point, Leiden has a 6-5 lead in matches won, so a tie is going to go to Leiden because they'll have won 8 matches.
Here's a Splato, but it's going to be.
Yeah.
That was a nice throw by to get to it too.
So they're gonna throw Murphy out there now. See if he can get 6 against Hector Garcia from Leiden.
If I remember right, Garcia had some problems in the sectional championship. I don't know if he's ready for the GBN gold dot blitz that's going on right now.
It's 2-0.
They're looking for back points. Here comes they just missed a cradle.
At a technical fall for de Klerk over Paddish. That coming at 3:23. And Minooka takes its first lead of the match. It's now 20-18.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if Oak Park's got more bullets in their guns. They've settled down into their seats, and they're not quite as animated as they were back when Dardanes and Brooks were out there. You know what you got in your lineup, though. You really do. You need that upset win to get you fired back up.
Frankie Pisciotti. Well, of course, they do have Chris Dardanes left.
Forgot about the other state champ.
But the match has to be within reach for that to make any difference, and who knows if it will.
It's 2018, and we're at 125 right now on mat 5.
This will be Zabel against Pisciotti. So
looks like the Montini-Marmion affair is just about over, Rob. 3 bouts to go. Montini up 30-15. I think there's a Greco still available. One of the Grecos is available to wrestle for Marmion, but won't enough, right? But I tell you what, Marmion will be maybe the best team in Illinois next year.
We'll see.
They're going to have a lot of guys.
Thank you.
We just got the radio call in on what's going on here on mat 6, 25-23 in favor of Glen Bard North, and we are at the 130-pound weight class, Rob.
Yeah. Okay. This is Zabel against Pisciotti.
Ankle pick, sweet ankle pick by Glen Bard North. Wow. And you can tell Glen Bard North is wrestling from a position of confidence at this point. They know where their studs are, and they know their studs are on the mat right now. And I lost my video feed here. Hopefully everybody else still has theirs. Might just be our signal's a little slow in here.
Yeah. Murphy leads 5-2. We're at the U.S. Cellular Coliseum in Bloomington. This is the 3A broadcast of the IHSA Dual Meet State Finals, presented by IHSA TV in cooperation with IllinoisMatmen.com. With Andre Morgan, I'm Rob Sherrill. This is the second, of course, of 2 quarterfinals, of 4 quarterfinals, the second set of quarterfinals. In our first round, Carl Sandberg advanced, beating Plainfield Central by a score of 30-22. And Barrington makes its first semifinal, beating Libertyville 31-23. Here, number 1 Minooka leads Oak Park 20-18. They're at 125. And no scoreless first period. For some reason, Pisciotti deferred.
We've got a
Zabel star in the bottom.
Someone sent us a pronunciation. Pinch Eoti. Is that how you would read that?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Big Head Todd, for keeping us on the straight and narrow. Also, who wrestled 119 for Oak Park River Forest? Because McKilbin doesn't recognize him. If he doesn't recognize him,
who wrestled
119 in that last match for Oak Park River Forest? He said it should be Colin Rogers, but I don't think it was.
Colin Rogers did not wrestle.
Right.
It was Jordan Paddish.
Okay, Jordan Paddish, Mac Bolin. Mac is just getting out of the hospital from hip replacement surgery and couldn't get down here, so I promised him I'd keep him informed.
Colin Rogers, as it turned out, did not weigh in, so he will be unavailable all day. Picchiotti leads 2-1, and Zabel has the single, trying to work across, and now Picchiotti looking maybe for a spladle here. And a stalemate is called. Murphy's extended his lead to 9-4 over Garcia. And now Garcia has a single. Oh, nice move by Murphy to reshoot with the single, and he takes him down. It's 11-4. Just reached through his leg for Garcia's leg.
And as I look at the team,
a quick reshot right there on the edge.
Uh-oh. Big points coming up here for Oak Park.
Yeah, look at this.
He got the near fall.
2 points on that 2-on-1 tilt for Picchiotti. That's 4-1. This is a big swing match for Oak Park, potentially.
Oh, they got to have this one. They absolutely have to have this one. If they're going to give up 119, they've got to get 25. But, you can count the points when Dardanes comes out there for the most part.
Right.
Will it be 6 or 5, whatever, but it's these other matches they got to have. In the end, they are the defending state champs.
Minooka has wrestlers at those weights that could probably hold him to less than 6 points, but is that going to be enough?
It sure appears we got the right teams here in 3A this year. These matches have all been close. They're all going down to the wire.
All teams that present matchup problems for the teams that are favored, for sure. It's 13-5, and we're going to have blood time, it looks like, for Murphy. He's sitting on a major decision right now. And just starting the third period, Zabel will be on the bottom, and it looks like he's just going to cut him.
All right.
It'll be 4-2.
Well, while we get this little break in action.
No, I guess not.
No, he's going down.
He's gonna try and ride him.
Oh, we're going to get back to wrestling here. Okay, good. Cut doctors are gone and trainers, and we can wrestle.
Blood time is over on mat 6. And Murphy trying to preserve the major. He's on top. He's got the crossbody ride. Final 5 seconds now. Glenbard North will extend its lead with the major decision by Murphy to 29-23. And where that leaves us is that with 2 wins, Leiden wins this duel. We'll see what happens.
Wow. Who would have thunk that?
Well, kind of a different Glenbard North team this year. They have several really great kids and quite a few weights where they could be half.
Well, I had a
That
real
gets a team with a really solid lineup like Leiden. That's not a good thing.
I had a real nice conversation with Coach Potter after the Mount Carmel duel, and he's just excited as heck to even be here.
They should be.
5 years into the program, and he woke up the ghost of Chuck Farina. I know that. We'll see if they can close the deal. Uh-oh.
Well, look at this.
Uh-oh.
A cradle for Zabel. What a big turnaround this would be for Minooka. If he can finish. Rudiger was unable to finish his, and if Zabel could finish this one, wow.
He's got him flat.
What a momentum swing this would be.
He's very close.
Picciotti looks like he's got that right shoulder up off the mat.
He digs that chin in.
So at least it's going to be a decision.
Here comes the
from
chin.
Minooka. Will they get the 6? They're down to 13 seconds now.
He's going to put the chin in and elevate.
And through the leg in. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and Picciotti doesn't get pinned, but Zabel is the winner. So 2 of the last 3 matches have ended with an Oak Park wrestler fighting off his back, desperately trying to avoid being pinned, and they've succeeded, but lost the match.
Right. So I guess in a way it was a victory for Oak Park, because
it was a victory to avoid giving up 3 more points, but Minooka gets the 3 points, and they now lead 23-18.
Meanwhile, on mat 6, Leiden is just trying to hang on and pull this thing out. They've got this match and 1 more to go with a slim lead, 29-23. Mat 6.
I believe this is Andy.
Do we have on mat 6?
I believe this is Andy Wynn for Leiden. So it will be Mario Rodriguez going for Glen Bard North, and Andy Wynn going for Leiden. 2 wins for Leiden. They will win this duel.
Well, and
1 win for Glen Bard North seals it.
I just got another pronunciation correction. This sounds like it came maybe from his mother or something. Pick-E-A-T.
Oh.
We're working here.
This is becoming a multiple choice test.
Colin Rogers is out with a staph infection. Therefore, that is why he did not weigh in today.
We're at 1:30. Now a little athleticism there. Sharino Watson for Oak Park. Blake Montella for Minooka. We still got 3 matches left to go. Minooka in pretty good position with 1 win. They'd been pretty much home free with 2 wins. Had the things not happen that happened.
It was a good shot by Minooka.
So Montella with the takedown.
If you watch these teams out here, Rob, they're doing the basics. Nothing complicated. Singles, doubles, half Nelsons. Every now and then they'll throw a cradle in if you're not on your game. Simple stand-ups off the whistle. No one's laying down there just getting beat to death for road to death. Everybody appears to be in pretty good shape, although some people are questioning one team's conditioning. But that's all a matter of opinion. But for the most part, you can see why these are the best teams in the state.
All very well coached as well, as you can see.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's some Hall of Famers down there, man.
Sure. 2-0 is the score. We've started the second period for Montella, and he's in on the attack again.
I don't know why he came off that single.
Yeah. Me either.
I mean, you were there. It was like a little fake misdirection or whatever, but he was in. He just, maybe it was his setup to come up to the bear hug.
Kind of managed to get the whizzer in there and hold him off. 1-0 as Rodriguez of Glenbard North has the only point of the match on mat 6. Now Montella in on the leg again, sweeps around for the trying to work up on the single, trying to work up to the hip. Now reaches for the head.
Whoa!
And there's 2.
That was
now they get it. So it is. Well, is it 3? Yes, it's 4-0.
We're out of time here on that second period on mat 6.
And Montella's going to cut him. It's 4-1. So a takedown for Andy Wynn of Leiden down there.
Right.
And he'll start the third period on the bottom. Going to be a winner-take-all match at 140 if Wynn holds on here.
How many swing matches has Oak Park lost today?
Oh, boy.
At least
3? I guess you could call 125 a swing match, but obviously 152 and 171 were big. They kind of got one of those back when Rudiger didn't get the fall at 112 and on the penalty point, but still, those matches were key. And here goes Montella.
And back.
Can he hold this one off? I don't think so.
Well, he went for a weak headlock.
Oh, well, once again, saved by the bell. Oh, boy.
And Coach Powell looks like he's about to lose his mind over there. He's imploring his kid, please, please, please. And he's gassing down there. What's really going on?
Could talk. I guess you could talk about some guys' conditioning. I don't see it in Montella quite yet.
No.
Well, I guess this is Watson's shot. He hasn't had a chance on top yet.
He's in a good position right now. Got that leg trap.
Right. 9-1 the score for Blake Montella of Minooka.
Got the half in now, but he didn't jump out to the side, so it didn't mean anything.
Minooka has already won 7 matches, so for them to lose, they'd have to go deep into the criteria list. It's 10-1 now as we're in the third period. This would be the 8th win for Minooka if Montella hangs on here. So once again, that part of the criteria belongs to the Indians.
Just a solid team, this Minooka team, not trying to do too much, just doing enough to get their hands raised. Quick update, Montini gets their hand raised again, 39-15 with one match to go. Marmion's going to take their second loss of the year to Montini. I guess I'll just never get used to these African-American wrestlers with the blonde hair, Rob. I asked my son if he was over there, would he have done that? He says, I don't know. His skin is so dark, it would have been classic. I would have had to take about 30 pictures.
Know how, one of those team-building exercises, you know how that goes.
I'll just never forget Carl Forsythe. He was like 6'5" with this blonde hair, He just looked really strange to me. Well, but it's good that they unite the team like that.
Yeah. Team-building exercise.
Oh, big throw.
Look at this. And we have just tied it up with that toss.
Wow.
And if it had happened in bounds, might have been more than that.
Right. 8 seconds left. Third period.
That's what happens when you relax on the edge. So, he couldn't get Oh,
No.
maybe. He
Nothing.
tried the switch.
Nothing.
Nope, we're going to overtime. Oh, my goodness.
He almost pulled it off.
Oh, yeah. Tried for the 2. Maybe could have had the 1. Instead, he gets nothing, and we're going to overtime.
If you notice, Rob, you don't see as many switches on the college level as you see
you
at high school. Why is that, you think?
Oh, I think nobody wants to give up 2 points. I guess you figure you're going to get out, but why give that other guy, especially if you know he's tough on top, a chance to get the riding time too?
Right, because they will give you 1 in college. If you get to your feet, most guys they'll lose that battle, but they're not losing one.
Don't give up. It's bad enough giving up the reversal. If you don't have riding time, maybe some more guys try for it, but you don't want to give up a chance to lose riding time or to give riding time to the other guy. Oh, and there it is.
Glenbard North.
Mario Rodriguez is the hero of this quarterfinal. The takedown with 8 seconds left to tie it when it looked like Leiden had a shot to wrap it up at 140, and the takedown in overtime to win it. Wow.
So here we go. Gonna get interesting now.
He may just forfeit this last weight.
I would. They did that the other day. They did that the other day against Mount Carmel.
And it looks like that's what's going to happen. He'll forfeit the last weight to Leiden. Final will be 32-29. There it is. So 7-7 in matches, but Mario Rodriguez at 135 with a takedown at the end of regulation and a takedown in overtime wins this duel for Glenbard North. 32-29 the final. Boy, it went all the way down to the end.
And somewhere there, one of my favorite Glenbard fans, Kathy Schultz, is probably just wiping the sweat off of her brow there. They made it interesting, if nothing else.
That's the great thing about the duels is guys like Mario Rodriguez get their moments in the sun, and he's a big part of this story.
Well, that goes back to what I was saying earlier about you may not be wrestling on Saturday last weekend in an individual state tournament, but you become very important in this dual concept here today.
Absolutely.
You saw a lot of guys out there for both Glenbard and Leiden that were not downstate.
We now have down 27-18. This forces Oak Park to go with the big gun, Chris Dardanes, now.
Right.
And he has a takedown and a 2-0 lead on Sean Kenny.
If they don't go with Dardanes now, it gets forfeited out, and he doesn't get to wrestle at all.
Right.
And that would be classic mistake.
So 2 wins could still get it for Oak Park, but they need 6 from Chris Dardanes to really have a realistic shot, because Jake Residori is not going to get pinned.
Will I am ask, why aren't the Dardanes brothers going to Iowa? They're twins. They could be coached by the greatest twins ever. Spoken like a true Iowa guy. What else would I expect him to say?
Yes, of course.
Something about J. Rob, though. He does a great job up there.
And if somehow Kenny could hold Chris Dardanes to a decision, the duel's over because Minooka has 8 wins.
Yes.
And they would have 8 wins and a 6-point lead. So they could not be beaten.
So should Oak Park lose this, we will definitely have a new 3A state champion.
It's 4-1 at the end of 1 second left to go here.
We haven't had a repeat big school champion back-to-back, so to speak, since Sandburg, correct?
That's correct. When they won 3 in a row in their glory years.
Their run. One of the best teams in the history of the state, to be honest.
Sure, absolutely. So it's 4-1 for Chris Dardanes at the end of the first period. And he's out to start the second.
You're going to hear the noise in the background. It's a little bit quieter now, wrestling fans, as we only have one mat going now. That'd be mat 5. There won't be any more wrestling action until approximately around 2 o'clock, about 45 minutes from now, when we will come out with Sandburg and Barrington, and then Glen Bard North versus the winner of Minooka and Oak Park. At this point, it's looking like Minooka.
We just had a stall warning against Kenny in the last sequence. And Chris Dardanes is in on the leg again, but he ran out of mat this time, and they'll come back to the center. 5-1, the lead for Chris Dardanes, the state champion at 135 for Oak Park River Forest. And as we mentioned in the broadcast last week, we've had a lot of brother combinations win state titles in the same year. We have not had very many twin brothers that have won state combinations. Joe Williams was a member of 3 brother combinations when he won his state titles, but of course those were all with brothers of different ages. The Dardanes became the first twin brothers in 21 years to win state in the same year.
Is that how long it been?
We've had 16 set brother combinations, but only 4 of them are twins, and that's pretty amazing. The twins would be the first thing you'd think of most of the time. It's 7-1 now for Chris Dardanes, and he cuts Kenny loose. It's 7-2. And spins behind. Nothing yet. And nice job by Kenny to hip into him. And it's a takedown. So Sean Kenny makes it just that much harder a task for Dardanes to come back and get a bonus point of some kind. It's 7-4. 20 seconds left in the second period. This would be big if he could get a ride out here at least. Well, now as we say that, Dardanes back on his feet, but no change. So Chris tried to force the action a little bit there, and Kenny's a smart kid. He a
little bit early for that,
knew what the counter was.
I mean, did he need it? We're in the second
period.
Well,
he needs a bonus point, obviously.
But, I mean, we're in the second period. I'm not saying wait till the last minute, but just seemed a little early. I guess if it's there, you hit it.
Right. He's going to need he needs at least a major to to force Residori to either win or not get pinned. So he's out. Now he's out. And foot on the line.
Would have been 2 if it was college. Next year at Minnesota, you get 2. But today in Illinois, you get nothing but a restart.
Right. And right in on the double for Dardanes, and he gets the takedown.
How do you see these guys doing, these twin brothers up in the Big Ten?
Oh, I think they'll do fine. They're physically, they're they have the physical tools. They're aggressive. I'd like to see him develop another attack or 2, but still, how many attacks did the Brands have, and look how well they did.
I think they're going to be.
They have the right mindset, I think. And look at this.
This is going to be 2.
Can't be that sloppy.
1 loss of control.
Yeah, they just have to clean up some things.
Right. Well,
which
they're with J. Rob,
which is easy to do. They've got the mindset, to be successful. I don't think there's any question about that. Minute and a half left. Dardanes needs at least a major to put at least a little bit of pressure on Jake Residori at 140, because only a decision means Minooka has clinched this match. There he is. He's in on the single. Works across, and he has two. Now he has the major. The major spread at 13-5. Minute 11 left to go. And he's going to cut him. Well, I guess he's going to cut him. Now he does. (13-6), and they go out of bounds. And I think Kenny does have a stall warning, so I think he'd be advised to stay in the center as much as he can. Or do something like that, is push Dardanes out to the edge. That's something you don't want to do.
Right.
You don't want you don't want your back to the edge of that mat. And there is Dardanes in on another low single, but can't finish. And Kenny's gap, there's the stall warning. Good one.
And two.
And a two.
Wow, that was a 3-point swing.
So now Jake Residori is going to have to avoid getting picked. Probably not a difficult thing to do in this situation, but he at least has a little bit of pressure on him right now. He's going to have to go against Anthony Minetti, and he's going to have to avoid getting pinned. Anything besides a pin for Oak Park, and Minooka advances to the semifinals.
Mm-hmm.
And
he's going to cut him.
Okay, that makes it 16-7. Still the major for Dardanes, and I think if you're Kenny, you don't want to tempt fate here. It's okay to give up 4. You don't want to give up more.
He's going to get hit with another stall.
He may get it, yeah. Now he's got to circle in, which he does.
Barely.
And
there it is.
There it is. There's 2.
Now.
One more penalty would make it 6.
Well, would it be a team?
Now,
it wouldn't be a team point, though, right?
No. He's okay now. Stayed in the center. He may give up a takedown here, but it'll be
Dardanes is doing something silly.
Oh,
he's doing something silly. He almost got caught in his back. And
if that had been the case, he would have given up the major and the match would be over. But as it stands, it is an 18-9 major decision for Chris Dardanes over Sean Kenny, and that brings Jake Residori out to try and clinch this match from Minooka, and probably shouldn't be in that position. Minooka should have this wrapped up by now.
Well, they lost it, two matches ago?
Lost a team point,
right.
And then Leo Rudiger, I mean, obviously you don't know what's going to happen. You want to try for the fall, but by not getting the fall, he wound up losing 2 points. It was only a 14-0 major decision, so instead of getting 6, they only got 4. If he'd managed to get 5, we're looking at a forfeit probably.
Well, they're actually, Minooka, should they win this, they're consider themselves fortunate.
In some
playing with fire,
Right.
Penalty points, not getting bonus points that you should get.
Anthony Minetti for Minooka. Going against Residora.
So
Residori was 6th in the state last week. And he's in on the single.
Boy, my fan club is something else out here. They don't ever let up. NIU fan. If you're a state champ and you're going to Minnesota, you should get a pin or a tech. Easier said than done, but I hear you. Your team's counting on you for the big points, but it does, I really believe wrestling is a case of matchups.
And I don't really think of either of those guys as pinners anyway.
I don't
That's
either.
not really their style.
They're
now,
brawlers.
Somebody like yeah, exactly.
They're here to beat you up.
Now, somebody like Dustin McCauley from Apple Valley, he's a pinner. Yeah, but he's got a different kind of style. I mean, how many other guys does a team like Apple Valley have that would get a pin in that situation? Right. I'm not sure they have any.
But I remember when the Dardanes were over at Fenwick, and I was doing a football game, a lower-level game, and I didn't realize they were playing football, and I heard some little voice in the defensive backfield. Hey, Mr. Twister! Hey, Mr. Twister! It was Chris Dardanes, you know. So we're playing the game, and they're getting kind of beat up by Morgan Park, and this one kid sweeps right, and I just see Nick Dardanes come over and just perfect double-leg takedown in the middle of the field. And it was textbook, and I just laughed. Only a wrestler could do that.
Think about any of the other teams in this field. I mean, think about Montini. How many wrestlers do they have who would walk out there and get that in that situation? I'm not sure they have any.
No.
You know, it's a special skill, and you have to be able to channel it into a situation where you have that much pressure on you.
From what I can tell, the best pinner in this building today is Ben Woodford, the freshman sensation for Marmion.
And how many pins did he have in the state tournament? How about 0?
Yeah.
So,
no, it's kids are very good at not letting you pin them if they've got any kind of skill.
Exactly right. There's Residori with the first takedown right at the buzzer.
They're trying this roll, and if I'm not mistaken, you're supposed to bridge on your way through that roll, and Oak Park is not bridging and getting. I mean, we always start our guys down on the south side of Harvey to post up on that one. You'll catch him on his back. You know, playing with fire there, but I guess you got to go for the home run.
Okay, somebody. Oak Park chose neutral there. 2-0 the lead for Jake Residori. He finished 6th in the state last week, sophomore from Minooka, over Anthony Minetti of Oak Park. And once again, anything less than a pin for Minetti and Minooka will advance to the semifinals against Glenbard North, which also won a tight match over there on mat 6. Same teams met in the semifinals last year.
I got to say, you know, I haven't seen any upsets yet.
No, I don't think I have either.
I expected Sandberg to win, although that was a great goal.
You have to be pleasantly surprised at, Leiden staying with Glenbard North, even a Glenbard North that, is not built for duels the way they have been in previous years, but they made one of Glenbard North's role players, be a hero among heroes to not advance.
Now, what I will say is I am kind of surprised that.
And here is Residori, ran the half. This one may be the one they finally get.
He's turned though. He's not there yet.
Left shoulder is still up.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised at Oak Park that there's
25 seconds left to go here in the second period.
That they're so close to the end of this, to be honest.
4-0 lead, and at least 3 coming for Residori if he doesn't get the pin. So once again, there it is. So finally, a pin for Minooka, and it comes to close out a 33-22 victory over the defending champions, Oak Park River Forest.
And
our quarterfinals are finished.
Coach Powell immediately turns to his bench and makes them all get up. He sees that the disappointment's on and says, we're going to have some class on this. Get up.
Yep. Well, the balance of Minooka once again played out in this match. They won 9 out of the 14, so it is theoretically possible to win when you only have 5 wins, but you better get 5 falls, and Oak Park didn't quite do that. So
right.
Our semifinals, which are going to be at 2 o'clock, are
Table
Carl
is set.
Sandburg against Barrington and Glenbard North against Minooka. You're watching the IHSA State Dual Meet Championships on IHSA TV in cooperation with IllinoisMatMen.com. This was the AAA broadcast. Hope you enjoyed the quarterfinals. For Andre Morgan, I'm Rob Sherrill. We'll see you for the semifinals.
Here's $10 for each of you to go get a hot dog or whatever you want to do.
Well, thanks.
You guys
Appreciate it.
They went
Yeah.
downstairs.
We had to work overtime, I
So
guess.
we're back at, I think we start at 2, right?
Okay.